Hello, hello, hello. John Mason. How is everybody? Hope you're all well and enjoying this nice weather. Recently, the Arizona Supreme Court has reinstated a law from 1864 when it was still a territory, not a formal state, uh, restricting abortions to next to none. And a fun fact of that era is that the Speaker of the Arizona legislature was a 40-something-year-old man who later married a 15-year-old girl. But little trivia you might be interested in. And the backlash against it ranked as much as the backlash against the repeal of Roe v. Wade by the Supreme Court 2 years ago. And even the Republicans, even hardcore rightist Republicans, such as Carrie Lake and Donald Trump, who originally came out as banning abortion altogether, are now starting to backtrack against against the abortion ban, realizing at long last what a toxic thing abortion is for them. And the Democrats, sensible people that they are, jumped on it, jumped on the issue, uh, coming out as foursquare in favor of the right of a woman to control her own reproductive system. And I'm one of them. Yeah, remember back in the day in the 70s. Yep, I go that far back. when when Roe v. Wade was implemented, and the abortion activists were just hot and heavy. No, actually, the anti-abortion activists were hot and heavy trying to repeal Roe v. Wade. Not only getting militant in trying to shut down abortion clinics, like demonstrations outside threatening women going into abortion that they had to be escorted in, people barging into uh, abortion clinics, even violence. There were stories of arson at abortion clinics and murders. Yes, murders of abortion providers such as Dr. George Tiller. Yes, they've gone that far, including violence and murder, to force their will on the American people. The majority of the American people have long supported the right of a woman to control her own reproduction. But it's always this violent, militant, noisy, hysterical minority who doesn't give a damn about anyone but themselves, who think they know everything, who think they know better about women's reproductive system better than a woman does. It's been a journey for me. As a kid, I was vehemently anti-abortion. But I've grown to realize that so many women have to resort to the most dangerous things to eliminate an unwanted fetus, like to go to some guy in a back alley who's not even fit to butcher a hog to get an abortion, or try to do it themselves with coat hangers and bleach and all, risking their lives, killing them. I realize I must respect their right to control their own reproductive system, since I, as a man, do not have a reproductive system. Therefore, I cannot dictate to a woman how to run it. Yes, yes, they were. Yes, back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, they were very intimidating, and terroristic, as I have indicated earlier. Now, they've kicked the hornet's nest, and the hornets are coming out of the nest and fighting back. I, for one, support at this stage of my life wholeheartedly, foursquare, the right of a woman to terminate an unwanted pregnancy at any stage. And supposedly the idea of that life begins at conception, is that really so? Theologians and scientists have been debating the subject for millennia. Of course, this leads to the question, when does conception begin? And purportedly, this life begins at conception idea rises out of Christianity of some form. In the Jewish tradition, the idea is that life begins at the time when the baby takes their first breath. At that point, the baby is alive. And only one particular idea of Christianity, not all Christianity, but one individual Christian belief is the law. And personally, I believe it's like the attempts to terrorize women against abortion is like this revenge. Do the anti-abortion activists really believe that they can force women back into a secondary role, back to the housewives, barefoot and pregnant? I don't think so. Of course, there are some that do. And I've been thinking that maybe the idea is to get back at women for daring to assert their rights, daring to fight for equality, not knowing their place. I could be wrong, but let us get out there and show our respect for right of a woman. Our mothers, our sisters, our girlfriends, our friends, our wives, that we support their right to control their own reproduction. Okay. And here's another fun topic. April 9th, 1865 was the date that General Robert E. Lee surrendered his Army of Northern Virginia to General Ulysses S. Grant, surrendering his forces to Grant. And that has been officially considered Confederate Surrender Day. Yay! Of course, there were very strong Confederate armies still in operation, such as the army under General Joseph Johnston and others as the so-called Trans-Mississippi Army in Texas. They were late in getting the word about Lee's surrender. But the Confederacy surrendered. Thank you, Lord. And Confederate Surrender Day has often, like I said, is considered that April 9th. And I believe it's a time for celebration. Should be considered a federal holiday. Oh yeah. With real discussion about what the Civil War was about. It wasn't just a difference spat between brothers. It wasn't just a difference of opinion. It wasn't about this about the South being more pure than the North, all that. It was about the right of the seceding states to, to continue to hold slavery. In each state's Declaration of Secession and in the Confederate Constitution itself, the reason for the secession was about trying to maintain their slave system. Such a figure as the Confederate Vice President Alexander Stephens, in his cornerstone speech, said explicitly that the whole war secession was about maintaining slavery and maintaining black people in their natural and normal state of slavery. So, April 9th should be set aside as a date for seriously discussing the Confederacy. Seriously discussing why the Confederates seceded, what the Civil War was about, and no prettifying the Confederacy as the movie Gone with the Wind did. Usually in the more Hollywoody glorified versions of the Confederacy, it was about valiant young men as noble knights leading the charge for chivalry and all. Actually, the planter aristocracy did fancy itself trying to model itself on European nobility, but they were really a cheap copy of it. Actually doing nothing but boozing, raping slave women. That's all they were. Not some chivalrous knights. Like I said, April 9th should be Confederate Surrender Day, should be a day for educating yourselves about what the Confederacy was really about. So let's go for it. Okay, I'm all talked out for now. More's coming. And now advertisements. My work, all the poetry and the fiction writing and the blog and the podcast and the videos and the YouTube channel which you're watching is work. It costs money. I deserve to be paid for my work. Help me pay for all this work I do, the podcast and videos and blog and all. And to move it forward, move all my work forward. And so I'm asking you, please get on that website, johnomason.com, and click either the Buy Me a Coffee button or the PayPal button and give what you can. Trust me, I appreciate it. Thank you. And now, Hemperific is a lovely little CBD product store located on Snyder Avenue near 15th Street in South Philadelphia. There you'll find some of the finest cannabis-infused products. Flour and gummies and candies and drinks and teas and lip balm and hand sanitizer and dog treats. Yeah, dog treats. Do please look them up right at the bottom of your screen. HemperificLLC.com. Okay. And also my beloved career and business coach, Michelle Snow. Michelle is way excellent in helping you navigate your professional career and small business. Let you know what you're doing right, where you need work, and help you network with other up-and-coming entrepreneurs and professionals. Please look her up. growwithsnow.com. Okay. Righty then. That's the work we have cut out for us. Defending abortion rights for the people who actually get pregnant, and learning about the real story of the Confederacy. As a side note, in Pennsylvania, April 23rd is primary election day. So to put it bluntly, take your asses out there to the voting booth and vote. And if you have a mail-in ballot, find the drop-off box and put it in. It's important. You need to vote so as to affect change in your area, in your country, and even in your city, all the way down from the country from the nation to the city. Alrighty then. Thank you. Enjoy the good weather.